So September is not going to be a normal month. It is not just Judgment Day. It's karmic reckoning. We are on trial. I'm talking about 2 eclipses, Mars going into Scorpio, a whole lot of action. So I got my notepad. Let's really talk about this real quick. Now, September 1st is day 1 of karmic court. We are now in session. Between now and February 14th, conveniently Valentine's Day, you are clearing out karmic debts. You are ending cycles, or you are choosing to dive straight into them and carry them with you for the next 30 years. But I'm not doing that, so we're not going to say that. But anything you dodged or bypassed is going to come back for you to face. So this is my main warning. And then drinking and drug use and all them coping mechanisms, this is your time to handle that, because if you don't, it can end real bad. Okay, now September 2nd, it's about paying attention to your words, because your words could be sharp, but guess what? Your clarity is going to be sharp too. Pay attention to the details. Starting September 4th, choose wisdom and not your ego is the moral of that transit. Okay, so whatever it's going to face, like, choose the most wholesome thing you could find. September 6th, you may have sudden shifts in your life, but more importantly, your nervous system is going to feel it. So how are you regulating your nervous system? So these last few months, you may realize you need to do that. So it's time to put that into practice. It's giving you time to try again. Don't forget, September 7th, we got a Pisces eclipse. This is karmic endings, emotional flood. It could be absolute chaos. It could be epiphanies. But, you know, eclipse season, because of the gravitational pull and how the world just works, this is the time to make some of the moves that you need to make to get things, cut the cord, okay? Now, September 11th, 12th, and 13th is going to be actually wild, so please pay attention to the news, because personally, I'm waiting to see what happens in the collective world. But again, this is cord cutting. Choosing cycles, ending cycles. Things are going to try to come back to repeat. Shut it down. If that man come back and they are not changed, if that woman come back and they are not completely brand new, like, you want to be unrecognizable type energy before you even think about it. Other than that, close that door. It's just a test. But truths are going to be revealed. It's about who you're becoming, though. Who you've been and who you're becoming are different. So we're focusing on who we're becoming. So I've always done, this is who I am, them phrases that people use, this is not. It's like we are walking in a new version of us, and it's time to choose it now. Now, September 17th, boundaries and mental pressure. Like, where are your boundaries? And this is going to be a moment, like, baby, if you don't have a therapist and you need therapy, this is the time to go find a therapist. Do not be ashamed. A lot of things people are going through, it may not be lifelong. You may not need medicine, but you might need somebody to talk to that's going to give you real advice, not a friend that has a judgment. That honestly, there's a lot of people in our lives we can't even trust because they have their own agenda. So you go to therapy. There are free options, there are cheap options. Go find an option. This is not going to be one of them days you want to play with your mental health. Now, the 18th, just be careful what you believe, especially in love, because it could be illusion and they could be freaking lying, okay? But at the same end, you're going to see that love is turning practical on the 19th, because Venus is going into Virgo. Love is going to be an action word. It's what the people do, how they show up, how they serve, where their integrity is at. But by the 20th, there may be surprises, there may be changes. Now, this can be internal. We're talking about finances, we're talking about self-love, we're talking about the things you own, we're talking about how you think in this moment. Now, September 22nd, Libra, season is beginning, thank God. But Mars is also moving into Scorpio. So what does that really look like? That means the deep change, the deep transformation, the deep, hard, yucky work is what is actually going to bring balance in your life. So don't be scared of the change, because that is what's going to bring balance in your life. And for Libra season to start, that is always the beginning of the planning phase. So the planning phase is when we start planning for the next year, when you're talking about a year, but that happens every month too. There's third quarter moon, you plan for the next month. Now, starting the 24th is going to be big energy, big blessings. But you're talking about not the 24th, the 21st is an eclipse in Virgo, excuse me. But there's big endings, big blessings, big tests, karmic tests. We're talking about in love and health and service. And it's still eclipse energy. This is heavy change energy. The 23rd, if you're willing to shift through the confusion, you may have a breakthrough. But you got to go through it. And that's going to be the same thing on the 24th. It's going to be a power struggle. Okay? But the struggle is your old self, or are you choosing to break through? The choice is going to be yours. The climax of everything we're doing this month really comes to play. Now from the 24th to the end of the month, you're just going to be seeing the outcome of all the choices you made for the first 24 days of September. So I hope you have a wonderful September, but don't play with yourself, don't play with your life, don't play with your sobriety, don't play with your mental health. Do the work. I promise it will pay off for the next 30 years if you just start doing the work. You start taking accountability, you start living integrity, you do the hard stuff now, because you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't